So today I'm going to talk about the fashion that I'm not really into right now and the things that I would wear instead. Hi, welcome back. I'm Leah. I'm the founder of Studio Nacré, a curated archive of style and living. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the use of mixed metal. We've seen recently a shift in people only wearing silver jewelry or gold jewelry to mixing and matching the two. And I do think it looked good in some cases, like if you have a more like boho vibe or like a 70s outfit. Otherwise, to me, it just looks a bit messy. The shininess of the gold and the silver together, to me, it feels like a bit too much. Something that always looks better and gives off a more, I don't want to say refined, but just elegant vibe would be mixing silver with like a natural material like stone or shells or like mother of pearl, something that is a more organic material. The contrast of the two, something more industrial and modern with something more natural and organic. I just love the contrast of the two together. I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about. So for example, I have this chain. So it's a simple silver chain, and usually what I do is I put little like 1 or 2 or 3 pendants on here. And what I like to do is adding usually pearls. Kind of hard to show with the mic, but I have small pearls like this. Or I also have this one that I got in French Polynesia. So it's a Tahitian pearl. I don't think the camera is going to focus on it. But yeah, so I just add the pearls to the necklace. I add usually 1 or 2. I also have things like this, more like a stone. I like to put it on a chain to have that contrast again. And yeah, I just think it's a pairing that works all the time. I think even in interior design, just something to contrast that always look good. So I think those principles also applies to fashion usually. My cat decided to join. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is polka dots. I am not a fan of polka dots at all. I don't know what it is about this specific pattern. I think it has to do with the fact that it's very geometrical. There's just something about it that irks me. Instead of polka dots, I would just wear a pattern that's more abstract. It's usually what I gravitate towards. So things like squiggles or like spirals, or just cheetah print, leopard print, or just actually like a plain design. I'm not really a pattern or a print type of person. The next thing that I'm going to talk about and that I don't really like is eclectic layering. And by that I mean 2 things. Pieces that don't necessarily go together. Thinking of like the bloomer shorts with cowboy boots for like festival attire. These are 2 pieces that have like a completely different function, and I'm not saying that it doesn't suit some people, but to me I just don't see myself mixing 2 pieces that are so far in terms of function. I usually like my outfits to be pretty straightforward in terms of, you know, where I'm going, you know what the outfit is for, you know what kind of vibe it is, what season it is. Like there's no really pieces that are clashing together and that could indicate like a different weather or like where is she going, what is the outfit for. My outfits are pretty straightforward in that way, and so I just don't see myself mixing pieces that have different functions, if that makes sense. I've seen also a lot of people wearing like the rainy boots, and those I really like. I think it's really cute, but I just wouldn't wear it if it's not raining or if I'm not at a place where it's very muddy. And I've seen those being worn just like in the city, just as is for like you know, like a fashion purpose. And I get it because I really like those shoes and I get the vision. I think sometimes it's because people have a pretty basic or simple outfit and they just want something to kind of like break the dynamic and, you know, make it more interesting and have more contrast, which I get. But I would usually do it with colors or textures and, you know, things like that, but not pieces that kind of clashes together, if that makes sense. The second kind of layering that I'm talking about is what we would see on social media as maximalism. So having like a lot of jewelry or a lot of different patterns together, a lot of colors, something that is very loud and vibrant, something maximalist. I'm thinking of a girl, she's very popular, she has a lot of followers, so you've probably seen her. And she does that really well, and it's something that I really admire because I would not be able to do that. I feel like for me, less is more usually, and I just have the kind of vibe and like aura that I just know if I would put too much or if I would put the same amount, it would just look clownish on me. And it's probably because it's not my vibe, it's not my style, so it looks like it doesn't fit because it doesn't, you know? What I would do instead if I were to do some kind of layering is something that would be more in the same vein of what Yohji Yamamoto does, having the same color throughout but having different layers, different textures, maybe different proportion. That is the type of layering that I would be able to do and I would feel confident in. A lot of the times if I'm wearing all black, because that happens a lot, I need to have some type of different materials or different textures to kind of differentiate everything, and so it doesn't look like a black blob, you know. I think overall I just have a more minimalist way of layering, so I still like layering, but it's just not an eclectic layering, if that makes sense. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the color butter yellow. I've seen it on social media everywhere. I think I saw, I don't remember if it was a video or an article about butter yellow being the new beige and how, because it gets so saturated and everybody's tired of beige and calling it sad beige something, we switched to butter yellow. Personally, I just think it doesn't suit me, it doesn't flatter me. And I'm not saying that you should wear only things that flatter you, but it's just because I love colors. I'm really picky with colors and I like colors to really complement my skin tone and my overall season and just vibe, and butter yellow just doesn't do it for me. I'm very, very pale and I'm a very pale olive. I already have a super yellow undertone, so it looks like it's too much of a match. I think that's what it is. Yeah, it just doesn't do it for me. I think I do like it when it comes to graphic design or interior design, especially if it's paired with a really like dark charcoal color or like a very rich brown. I think it looks very good. I also think it looks good when it comes to bags. Like I could have a butter yellow bag and I don't think it would look bad because it's not really against my skin. What I would do instead is an off-white color, which to me is the most flattering type of white, of nude. I think it's less strict and technically less chic than a pure stark white. So it's more, I would say it's more casual, it's more laid back, but it still has that elegance and refinement to it. And I think it's a color that is good on everybody. If you have a deeper complexion, I think it looks really good. Yeah, I think it's just also a very forgiving color. So even if that's not typically a color that is for you and you have a brighter complexion, and so maybe a white would look better on you, off-white is still something that, like, I don't think it will make someone look bad, if that makes sense. The next item I'm gonna talk about is belts, and specifically belts that are cinched at the waist. I think for me it's more of a nostalgic thing. I think I could get behind the belt at the waist if it's a Japanese belt, you know, the ones that they wear with a kimono, cinched on like a blazer or even like added on a top. I think will look really, really good. What I would do instead is like a mini belt, having it very low waist, or like a big one, like a maxi kind of belt. I feel like the in-between is kind of awkward unless it's because of function and you need your pants to fit you better. But if it's for a fashion purpose to accessorize your outfit, then yeah, like a very maxi belt or a mini belt for me is the way to go. I also really like the kind of belts that are either super like texturized, have some kind of like fur to it, or even like a different material. I have a few belts that have shells on it or that are made out of shells that I really like and that I've been wearing all summer. I'm gonna show you. So it's belts like this, and I don't know if you can see. Basically, it's pieces of shells that are braided together. That makes sense, with like a cord type of thread, and this one is more of like a suede, like leathery thread, and it looks so good with any outfit. I've been putting it on, like, this one is like this. I've been putting it with like a simple black pants, and usually I match my accessories to it. So like I'm gonna have also like pearls on my rings and things like this, and I think it looks so good with black. I'm also thinking about a belt that has like a big letter, so like the logo of a brand. I know some people find it very tacky, but I'm not against it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a good time with me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.